Hello! It is currently midnight on Sunday the 30th of June, and for some unknown reason I decided that I wanted to start a 24-hour reading vlog. And I mean, it's not logical, but hey, I'm wide awake. I went to an event last night, Friday night, and didn't get back to the hotel after that event until around about 1 a.m. And then I woke up at 9 a.m, got ready, came back to London. It's a really, really hot day in London, or it was yesterday. It was 30 degrees, which for London is crazy. And so I promptly, when I got home, had lunch and then fell asleep on the sofa from 2 until like 5. So consequently I am now wide awake, even though it's way past my bedtime. So I figured, well, I'm up late, I might as well be productive about it. So I'm starting a 24-hour reading vlog, which is something I've been wanting to do for a while, so here we are. I'm probably not going to have very much variety in this 24-hour reading vlog because I'm reading Strange the Dreamer by Lanny Taylor, which is a quite long book. It's over 500 pages. Yeah, it's 532 pages long, and I am on page, not very many, 107. So I'm hopeful that I can finish this, because I am actually listening to the audiobook as I'm reading it, and I have, for comparison, 14 hours and 47 minutes of the audiobook left, but I am listening to it on 1.75 speed, which means, and yes, I am a sado that uses an audiobook speed calculator to determine how long in listening time I have left, because I'm extra and it's just who I am. So I have 8 hours and 27 minutes of reading time left. So I am hopeful that I will finish this today. Yeah, because it's midnight, so today, Sunday. Whether I'll read anything else, probably not, but we'll see. Once I finish this, I'll probably pick up some manga just for the purpose of giving some variety of this to this vlog, and it's possible that I'll sort of put this down and pick up some manga and stuff in between. I've also got Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on as my reread at the moment on audio, and I might also pick up on audio the third Mediator book by Meg Cabot, which is a series that I absolutely loved when I was like 11 or 12 years old, and I'm just rereading it for the nostalgia, and I'm still really loving it. I reread it so many times when I was young, and I just absolutely loved that series, and I loved Jessie and Suze as the main characters, and rereading it is just so enjoyable. I still think that they're really great books, and I think even if I was reading them for the first time now, that I would still enjoy them. So I might, just for the purposes of variety, try and pick up some other stuff in between, but I would like to finish this today anyway, because it's the last day of June, and I would like to be able to include this in my June wrap up. And I was struggling with the first 100 pages or so. Well, really I struggled with the first 50 pages. And I think that that's mostly because I had headaches and wasn't feeling very well. And so physically reading was quite difficult because using my eyes to focus on the words was just a little bit painful on my head. So I think that was the main issue with it. And also a little bit, the writing style is quite particular. It's a very flowery writing style. It's very descriptive, and it's just not something I'm particularly used to. But actually I am enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying the audiobook. I think the narration is fantastic. I only just picked the audiobook up a couple of chapters ago, probably 30 or so pages ago, and it's actually improving the reading experience. I'm still reading along with the audiobook, which is something that I've only done a few times recently. This month actually I started for the first time trying that out, and actually I really enjoy doing that. It really is really immersive, which is good, and I enjoy that, and I particularly like the narrator for this, so I'm really enjoying that experience, and things are starting to happen. I know that a lot of people say that this book, this duology in general, actually quite slow paced, but so far I haven't necessarily noticed that to be a problem. So I'll keep you posted on that, but for now that's where I'm at. I have still got to unpack, so I might try and do that now and then get ready for bed and see if I'm tired. I know traditionally in 24-hour reading vlogs people don't sleep, but I'm not going to do that. It's just not sensible. I've got work on Monday. I will listen to a bit of Harry Potter, I think, whilst I'm unpacking. Let me see, how long have I got left of Harry Potter? Yeah, I only have 4 hours and 21 minutes left of Harry Potter. But again, I'm listening to that on 1.75, so I actually have 2.5 hours of Harry Potter left. So it's quite possible that I'll be able to finish that today as well, maybe. Okay, so it's now 1:30 in the morning. I've listened to quite a bit of Harry Potter actually. I now only have just under 3 hours left, so about an hour and a half of Harry Potter I've listened to. But it's late and I think I should really try and get some sleep. So I'm going to do that and I will be back in the morning. Good night. Good morning. It is currently 11:15, although I have been up since around 8:30, but I've just been in the YouTube, Instagram hole, so I haven't actually done any reading yet this morning, which is not particularly helpful considering I'm doing a 24-hour reading vlog, but hey, there you go. I will get to it now. I've had my breakfast, I've watched a bit of YouTube, I think I'm ready to do some reading, but before I do, I ordered some stuff on ASOS, well, just 2 things, and I thought that it would be fun to show you. Basically, I am having a lot of issues with bloating at the moment because of my Crohn's disease, and because of that, a lot of my summer things from last year aren't fitting me, or they're fitting me but they just look awful, in my opinion. I'm probably being hard, well, I'm definitely being hard on myself, but anyway. And also the weather's been really, really hot here in London for on and off for a month or two. So I think we're properly in summer now. So I decided I want to pick up a couple of skirts because I've only got a couple that fit at the moment, and basically I'm living in them, and so I just wanted a few more options. So they're both black skirts, one of them's a midi and one of them is a maxi skirt, and I thought that I would show them to you. So here we go. Okay, so this is the first one. You can't really see because it's black, but it's got box pleats. Yeah, you really can't see, I don't think, but I've just popped on this shirt just for the purposes of showing you. But it's a really nice length, it's just past the knee. It is from the tall section of ASOS, so that it's sort of more of a length that suits me, because quite often I find that midis come to like knee length if I buy them from the normal range. But this is from the tall section, so it's quite a nice length. It's lightweight, which I like. My other skirt that I've got is actually, well, I've got two. I've got one that's black satin and one that's khaki satin, not real satin, just, you know, the fake stuff. And that's box pleats as well, but this is a lot lighter and less structured and more flowy. So yeah, that one is a success. And then this is the maxi, which is actually pretty much a perfect length. It's got a nice side split, but it doesn't come too high, which is a problem I often find if I buy from the ordinary range, that the split sort of comes like all the way up here, which is just a bit too much for me. But it's just a simple black maxi skirt with a side split. It's nice and light again, nothing special, but I really like it. I don't think I've ever had a maxi skirt before, but the tall ranges are really improving. So yeah, not bad. Let me know what you think. Okay, so trying on done. I am now going to get to doing some reading, and I think I'm going to pick up Strange the Dreamer and try and get a decent chunk of the way through it, and I'll check in with you in a little while.
Beautiful and full of monsters.
Okay, so I've read to chapter 17 of Strange the Dreamer now, which is page 139. I'm actually going to take just a quick break now because G from Book Roast is about to premiere her Newts announcement, and I'm really, really, really excited to watch it. So I'm going to watch that for a bit and then I'll come back to reading after that. But I've been waiting for this video for so long, so I'm so excited, and I definitely want to watch it live with G and everyone else. So I'm going to watch that. It's going to be about half an hour, I think. So that will take me to about 12:30, 12:20-ish. It's 10 to now. And then I will probably come back on here and geek out a little bit about how cool it is, and then I'll go back to reading. And then I'll probably read until lunchtime and then switch to an audiobook whilst I have my lunch. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to carry on with Harry Potter or if I'm going to pick up the next instalment of the Mediator series by Meg Cabot. I've only got sort of 2.5 hours left of Harry Potter, so maybe I'll pick that one up and see if I can finish it. Not at lunchtime, but I mean maybe. And I'm quite keen to pick up some manga later actually, so maybe later on this afternoon we can go and have a look at the manga that I have on my shelf and what I haven't read yet, and see if I fancy picking any of those up. But I'm really getting into Strange the Dreamer now. I'm gonna do a proper chat about Strange the Dreamer a little bit later on. I'd like to get to about halfway before I give you my initial thoughts. So that's about another 100 pages or so, because it's just over 500 pages, I think. I think I said it was like 530 something. So if I get to about 250, then hopefully at that point I should have some solid thoughts. But so far, I was expecting it to be a lot slower than it is. Everybody says, I think I already mentioned, everybody says that it's a really, really slow moving book, and actually I'm not finding it that slow. And I'm really enjoying the characters, and the world seems really interesting. There's lots of intrigue. Not sure yet what's going on, but I'm not supposed to, so I'm not mad about that. And yeah, I'll give you more proper thoughts once I'm a little bit further into it, because I think 130 pages out of a 500 and something page book is not really enough for me to give full thoughts. So anyway, I'm going to watch this announcement and then I will come back to you. Okay, so as anticipated, that was super fun and I'm so excited to create my TBR. I'm not going to do it today because I'm prioritising reading today for the purposes of this 24-hour reading vlog, but either way, the prompts are so creative and fun, and G is just such a gem for creating and hosting this. It's really great and I absolutely loved the owls, so I cannot wait for the newts, and I will have a video up soon which will do my TBR. There are 36 prompts in total, so I'm not going to be able to read 36 books, but I am going to do a TBR of the full 36 books because some of the prompts are about reading books that are recommended or books that are people's favourites. So I figure that if I do all 36, then it might help people decide what they want to read for their newts if they're setting them, and also recommendations just generally. So I figure I'll just do all of them, but for now I want to have a look at my manga and pick out what I potentially would like to read today, in addition to Strange the Dreamer, Harry Potter and The Mediator, if I pick up The Mediator. I've already downloaded it, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to pick it up. But let's have a look at the manga first. Okay, so I quickly set up my box light just here so that you can see a little bit better, but unread here we have Nausicaa, which I am quite tempted by. It's the original manga from, I think it came before the Studio Ghibli anime. I'm also pretty sure I want to pick up The Flying Witch Volume 2 today because it is very short, so that one would be a very easy read. Aside from that, the things that I haven't read are The Land of the Lustrous, Volume 6 of Full Metal Alchemist, Volumes 3 and 4 of Maid Sama, and W. Juliet, which I did start but never finished, so I would start that again. Oh, and also I haven't yet read Death Note Volume 1, so I'm definitely going to read Flying Witch because that one is super quick and I'll definitely be able to read that in like less than half an hour, and then probably Nausicaa, and then I'd probably prioritise Land of the Lustrous because that's been sat there for a while. Well, a lot of them have been sat there for a while, but I kind of know what's happening in all of the other ones and I don't know about Land of the Lustrous, so I kind of want to give it a go. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking for now. In the meantime, I am going to go back to reading Strange the Dreamer and see if I can get a bit further on in that. So, I really helpfully fell asleep again. I promised myself I wasn't going to nap today, but apparently I am physically incapable of staying awake. I'm going to blame it on the book. It's very soothing and the narrator has a very soothing voice, and I just felt very relaxed and I fell asleep. So I only made it about another 30 pages or so, but I'm awake again now. It is now 20 to 3. I'm on page 170 of Strange the Dreamer. I haven't read any more of anything else. I'm oddly not really feeling hungry yet, even though I should probably have lunch. So I might try and have lunch and then go back to Strange the Dreamer. So I think I'll just pick up Harry Potter while I'm making lunch and having lunch so I can see if I can finish that, maybe. Okay, time for a quick check-in. It is now 5:10 and I am on chapter 33, page 274. So I'm definitely past halfway through now, and that means I've read somewhere in the region of 170 pages so far today, which is pretty good. I also listened to about an hour of Harry Potter, so I've got just over 2 hours of that left, which of course equates to about an hour and something at the speed I'm listening to it at. But I think I am going to take a break and switch to a manga just for a few minutes, just to give it some variety, because I'm feeling a little bit like I need a change of pace in my reading today. But I am really enjoying Strange the Dreamer. It is really well written, so everything that everybody says about it being well written is 100% right. The writing is fantastic and I'm really enjoying the story. Actually, it's a fantasy story. I think possibly what it is that makes people think that it's quite slow is that it's following a more epic fantasy type plot progression. So there's a lot of focus on world building and character building and setup, and not necessarily too much progress in terms of the main drive of the plot. And perhaps that's why people find it slow, but that's quite normal in epic fantasy, which is something that I read a lot, and so maybe that's why all of the world building and character building and all that stuff isn't bothering me, because it's something that I'm used to. However, this is not epic fantasy. It's probably just standard fantasy, actually. I wouldn't even say that it's high fantasy, although book 2 could become high fantasy because there is magic, but there isn't a lot of rules, or there aren't a lot of rules to do with the magic that have been set out yet. And although there's a lot of world building, it's more feelings than actual landscape, I think. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily categorize it as high fantasy either. And again, that might be why some people find it a little bit slow, because it's following a more epic fantasy pattern whilst actually being a standard fantasy novel. So yeah, the plot itself isn't necessarily moving particularly quickly, but I'm still enjoying it and I'm not finding the pacing an issue. It's not bothering me at all, so that is good. Although I do think the fact that I'm reading it quite quickly helps with that a little bit as well. If I was going to read this over the course of a week, then I might find it a little bit more slow than I am currently finding it. I do want to just take a break and read something else for a little while. I don't think I've actually told you what this is about. You probably already know. There's not much I can tell you without spoiling, but essentially it's about a city, a magical city, and one day everybody forgets the name of this city and only remembers it as Weep. And when they think of the name Weep, it's incredibly sad. And one of our main characters is a man named Laszlo Strange, who is a librarian who has an obsession with Weep. He wants to know everything he can about the lost city, and when a delegation comes from the city to look for help, he is adamant that he wants to go with them and discover the secrets of the city that he is so enamoured with. And that's all I want to say about it, because like I said, although it feels like it's moving fast enough for me, it's not moving fast in terms of actual plot. So anything extra I tell you is taking you too far into the book in terms of plot. But the characters are really enjoyable, and once again I just want to really recommend the audiobook because the narrator is really, really great. And I think I need to try and find out who the narrator is for you. Narrated by Steve West. So would highly recommend the audiobook, and I am enjoying the reading and listening experience, which is helping me to read it more quickly than I would otherwise be able to, which again might be helping me in terms of pacing. But for now, I think I'm just going to quickly pick up Flying Witch Volume 2, have a quick read through of that, and then I might take a break to watch some YouTube or something before getting back into Strange the Dreamer. I have pushed the speed up now to 2 times speed. I do tend to listen to things at 2 times speed. It just takes me a little while to get used to the narrator to be able to bump it up to that speed. So I'm there now, and it says that I've got just under 9 hours left, which at 2 times speed is just under 4.5 hours, and it's 5:20 as I mentioned. So I should theoretically still be able to finish this today. But now I'm going to pick up Flying Witch Volume 2, like I said, and I will check in with you once I have finished it. Okay, so I have finished reading The Flying Witch, Volume 2, and I have finished reading Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I've also unloaded the dishwasher and cleaned the kitchen, had a shower, rinsed my hair. I haven't washed it, I just wanted to wet it because it's quite hot, and had dinner. And now I think I'm going to go back to, well, I'm going to watch my Insta stories, and then I'm going to go back to reading Strange the Dreamer. A super quick check-in to say that it is 10 past midnight, so 15 minutes off the full 24 hours, and I have just finished Strange the Dreamer by Lani Taylor, and I've given it 4 out of 5 stars, which was a little bit of a difficult decision to come to, but I'll speak more about that in a minute. I'm just going to get ready for bed first, and then I will film my final wrap up once I'm ready for bed. But just to review, today I finished Strange the Dreamer by Lani Taylor, Flying Witch Volume 2 by Chihiro Ishizuka, and Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. So I'm ready for bed now, and the lighting in here is really bad because I'm about to go to sleep. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to properly wrap this up for you tomorrow after work, because it's currently 1:45 in the morning and I have to be up at 6 a.m. Hello! So this is wrap up the next day now. It's actually Monday evening and I'm about to edit this video, but I promised you a final check-in with some final thoughts, mostly on Strange the Dreamer, because to be honest, do I really need to talk about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone? Probably not. I enjoyed it. It's Harry Potter. That's pretty much all there is to say about that one. And Flying Witch is just really, really short. I don't think I told you what it's about. It essentially follows a young girl and her black cat familiar who moved to live with some family so that she can carry on her witch training, and it's really very episodic in nature, so each chapter is its own like mini story, and I mean it's nothing amazing, but it's cute and quick and easy to read, so I enjoy it for that reason. As for Strange the Dreamer, I stand by what I said already, that it is standard fantasy that has more epic fantasy style pacing, which meant that even though I was expecting pacing to be an issue because of everyone having said, or everyone that I've had talk about it having said that it's quite a slow moving book, I actually didn't find that to be a problem because it was more in line with an epic fantasy style pace, and that's something I'm used to, so that's fine. I do think that the fact that I read it quickly and with the assistance of an audiobook did help, especially because the narration of the audiobook was so good, so that definitely did help, but I still think that the pacing didn't bother me as much as I was expecting, so that was a pleasant surprise. In terms of the characters, I really enjoyed the characters. There's two main characters, but I don't want to talk about one of them because I don't want to give spoilers. The main character is Laszlo Strange, who is a librarian, and he is obsessed with the land of Weep, which is a city that time essentially has forgotten, including its name. And Laszlo doesn't want to forget. He wants to know everything he can about the lost city of Weep, and when a delegation from the city comes looking for people to help them solve a problem, Laszlo is desperate to sign up and go with them. And it's just a really whimsical, character-focused story. There's not a lot of plot, so if you're a plot-driven reader, I really don't think this one's going to suit you, because not only is it slow-moving, but in terms of the actual plot, there isn't much to it. It's fairly basic. It's really a book about the writing and the characters, and so also if you don't like the writing style, then you might struggle too. I would highly recommend the audiobook if you're likely to struggle with the writing style, because that makes it much more digestible in my opinion, and I possibly would have struggled to finish it as quickly as I definitely would have struggled to finish it as quickly as I did without the help of the audiobook. And like I said, if I hadn't finished it as quickly as I did, I may have struggled more with the pacing. So I definitely think that the audiobook is a good way to go. I struggled in deciding, I don't talk about ratings too much on my channel, but I wanted to talk about it in this case because I've really struggled with the rating, because I really enjoyed Strange the Dreamer, and so I kind of want to give it 5 stars, but then when I compare it to some of the other books that I've given 5 stars this year, I don't feel like it's as good as those other books that I've given 5 stars to. I mean, I liked the characters, but I didn't love them. I liked the writing, but I'm not really big on beautiful writing. I can take or leave it. The pacing didn't bother me, but the fact that there wasn't too much plot meant I wasn't as engaged in the story as I could have been. So I did really enjoy the book, and I'm really glad that I read it, and I'm really keen to pick up the second one. In fact, I've already ordered it so that I can pick it up because my libraries don't have it. So yeah, I'm a little bit conflicted, and usually when I'm conflicted between 2 star ratings on Goodreads, I will pick the higher star rating to be fair to the book. But in this case, that's the difference between giving it 4 and 5 stars, and I don't know whether I feel like it's on par with the other books that I've given 5 stars. So I don't know, but then I enjoyed it for different reasons than I enjoyed other books. So the book that's really jumping out at me as one that I really loved this year was Foundryside, because the plot was intricate and the characters were deep and in depth and relatable, and the pace was really fast moving, and I loved it for all of those reasons. But those are all different reasons from the reasons that I enjoyed Strange the Dreamer so much. So I suppose the difference is there. I really enjoyed Strange the Dreamer, but I loved Foundryside. So I'm a little bit conflicted. I think probably, to be fair to Lani Taylor, I'll bump it up to 5 stars because, like I said, for anything else, if I was tossing up between a 3 and a 4, I would always give a 4 because I think that's more fair. So why shouldn't I apply the same rule to if I'm deciding between 4 and 5 stars, you know? But let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd be interested to know how you deal with deciding on star ratings. And that's it for this one. I really enjoyed the experience of 24-hour reading vlog. I had quite a good time and I'd definitely do it again. And yeah, that's it for this one though. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.